Vietnam veteran. His dad was a major general in the Marine Corps, and I've got two nephews right now on active duty. One's an F-15 fighter jet pilot, and the other one's a Navy SEAL. So let me tell you, we respect our active duty and our retirees and all of our veterans. But thank you for being here. This is a Conversations with Kay, and this is really an opportunity for me to listen to you. I want to hear your thoughts, your ideas on what I need to take back with me to Washington, and I'm heading back to Washington tomorrow. Dr. Williams thanked me, welcomed me at the door. I'm honored to be here, and I know we're recognizing Veterans Day today, so I know this is a holiday for a lot of people too. So I just thank you so much for being here and coming out and letting me be here. And I know that Bobby Joe May, who's the dean of the Lewisburg campus, as you thank you so much for opening up the doors. And
it's a pleasure.
Really. And I do. What I'm going to do is talk for a few minutes about D.C., but then I want to go table to table to understand and have an opportunity to hear firsthand from you. This is, I believe, my 95th CWK, whatever number we are. Anybody know? Anyway, we've got 100 counties. I'm trying to hit all 100 counties this year with a CWK, literally to hear firsthand what's going on. And because of that, constituent service, I want to be a hallmark of my office. And so if anybody has an issue that you want help with the federal government agency, the VA, the IRS, Social Security, you name it, I've got great staff here that can go to work on your behalf. First, I want to introduce Melissa Midget. She runs our state offices. We have 5 offices across North Carolina. So she's the top person and does a great job. And we have Jean Reeves, who is a veteran. Everybody in her family is either active duty or a veteran, and she really highlights the constituent service role that we enact for our veterans. And we have Lee Slade here. Lee works in this part of the state too, and does a great job on constituent services work. So let me give you one example of work that we've done as a constituent services. It was an event very similar to this one. An elderly couple was sitting at the table, and they said, Senator Hagan, I'm not quite sure what happened, but we now have a 17.5% mortgage. They said, is there anything you can do to help us? Well, we got involved, worked with their financial institution, got that 17.5% mortgage down to 4.25%. We've settled over 20,000 cases in North Carolina of constituent services work since I've been in office. And that mortgage-related case is one of about 2,400 where we've helped people in North Carolina. So that's just one example of us going to work for citizens in our state. We have a big state, we have a diverse state, and I am incredibly honored to be one of North Carolina's 2 U.S. senators in D.C. And as I said, I head back to D.C. tomorrow. We've got a fiscal cliff approaching coming December 31. And, if it's going to hit if we don't do something about it. And numbers that I've seen said that GDP could drop 2% if we don't take action. And that would involve the Bush tax cuts expiring, AMT, the alternative minimum tax would hit another 30 million people. There's a doc fix that needs to take place. Otherwise, doctors who treat Medicaid patients could see a 30% drop in reimbursement rates. The list goes on and on. So we need to get back to Washington and take action. And I think people also need to know the good side of that story is there's 20 of us in the Senate, 10 Democrats and 10 Republicans. We've been working for months and months on end, looking at Erskine Bowles and Alan Simpson's report on the Fiscal Commission. And I think that we've got something that we can go to work with. It's, if you want to go online and look at something that's called fixthedebt.org. And this is based on these 20 senators and the work that we've done to date. So I'm looking forward to heading back to D.C. tomorrow, and hopefully, now that the election is over, and I hope everybody's glad that we're not going to see election commercials, hopefully for quite a while, and that we're back to TV commercials, we're back to drug commercials, at sports, etc., and we can move forward. But this is, I hope, going to be a very productive lame duck session. Just a couple of bills. We did get the highway transportation bill approved and signed by law into the president. That's $3.4 billion coming back to North Carolina. for highway improvement and public transit. But also, I think a key point is we are now going from 92 cents on reimbursement to North Carolina up to 95 cents per dollar that we send to the federal government. So that's a big plus. One of the things that I'm always concerned about, first and foremost, it is jobs, jobs, jobs. And that's where our community colleges play such a critical role in retraining our workers, working with industry, getting our citizens educated and getting them on a career path and to a job. So trust me, I am a 100% supporter of our community colleges in North Carolina. I spent 10 years in the North Carolina Senate, and I've worked very closely with so many of our community colleges. What I see, though, is that we have jobs available in our country right now, but there is a mismatch between the skills necessary to do those new jobs and the skills that so many people who are unemployed right now actually have, and that's where our community colleges retraining comes into play. I've got a bill called the America Works Act, and that's a bill that provides grant funding and funding for professionals to train for the skills that are necessary. And I'm hoping that we can have a focus on manufacturing as well as the funding source for the retraining, because that is the key. So what I'm going to do now is go around table to table, hear your thoughts and concerns, and I'll get staff to go the other way. I left one thing out. When we talk about the fiscal cliff, I want you to remember three things. Go big, go long, and go smart. The go big is we need about $4 trillion in cuts. To go long, everywhere I go, businesses tell me, give me the rules of the road so we can make long-term business plans. Don't kick the can down the road for a 3-month period or a 6-month period. Let's look at a long-term plan here. That's why we have to have tax reform. We've got to have looking at the loopholes and the credits. Some of them were probably a great idea 30, 40 years ago when they were put into place, but the world has changed since then. We haven't had tax reform since 1986. We need that. That's the go long. The go smart is what I think is very important here at this community college, and that is the investments that we have to make in America. We have to have resources to invest in our country. Education, infrastructure, and R&D. Education is our whole future. We cannot negate our future. Infrastructure. We need to update our roads, our bridges, our airports, our ports. We also have to look at water and sewer issues in North Carolina that's critical, and high-speed broadband internet. If we expect small business to be the economic engine and create those jobs, create those companies, if you don't have access to high-speed broadband internet, guess what? You are not as competitive as your competitor. And it's very important in so many places in rural North Carolina. So that's the go big, go long, and go smart. And a lot of people don't talk about that go smart area, which I think really is the investments in America and in our future. It's really going to make our economy boom. So let me go around, and I'll start with this table right here. And if Lee and Jean can sort of go talk to everybody else, we'll get around to the whole table. So thank you for being here.